Every culture in Spira learned to bow to Yevon, except one. A people who looked at the cycle of suffering and said, "No, we refuse." Long before Tidus ever arrived in Spira, the Bhed were already living in exile, not because they were violent, not because they were dangerous, but because they refused to believe Yevon's story of the world. While every other culture clung to the teachings, the Bhed stepped away from them. They weren't heretics because they were wrong. They were heretics because they didn't belong in a system built on obedience. In Spira, the first sin isn't using machina. It's questioning why suffering is sacred. The Bhed didn't worship sin. They didn't accept that death was holy, and they didn't believe salvation required sacrifice. Instead, they built machines to survive. Airships, engines, tools. To them, technology meant hope. And hope that doesn't come from Yevon? That's unforgivable. Yevon teaches that machina destroyed the world, so anyone who touches it must be dangerous. But the truth is simpler. The Bhed threaten Yevon because they prove something terrifying. You can live without the teachings. You can build your own safety, your own culture, your own future. For a system built on fear, independence is the ultimate rebellion. Their language isn't just a dialect. It's a shield, a way to protect themselves from a world that treats them like a plague, a way to speak freely where others cannot, a way to build identity in a world that wants them erased. Spira sees their language as secrecy, but for the Bhed, it's survival. Most of Spira sees the Bhed as kidnappers, but look deeper. They weren't stealing summoners. They were trying to save them. To the Bhed, the final summoning isn't sacred. It's murder. They see the truth others have been trained to ignore, that a summoner's pilgrimage ends the same way every time, with a sacrifice wrapped in praise. So they try to break the pattern the only way they can, by pulling the next generation of summoners out of the fire before it consumes them. And then there's Riku, the Bhed who refuses to stay in the desert, the girl who throws herself into danger not because she believes in the teachings, but because she believes in Yuna. Through her, we see the truth of the Bhed spirit. They are not rebels for rebellion's sake. They are rebels because they believe life should not be a ritual of loss. If everyone lived like the Bhed, the calm would collapse, not because sin would win, but because the teachings would lose their power. A world that builds its own hope doesn't need a cycle of sacrifice. And that makes the Bhed the most dangerous idea in Spira. They weren't meant to exist inside Yevon's world, and that's exactly why they can change it. Next time, we step into the world beyond life, where the souls trapped by regret refuse to disappear. Like, subscribe, and follow HiddenLoreXP for more Final Fantasy X. Because belief built this world, and belief is what will eventually destroy it.